hello everyone. I'm Howard Russell. I'm the CEO here at Arbor Solutions. We're a premier iManage partner. We're focused on helping our customers to streamline access to all the critical tools that they need and to hopefully help enable some greater efficiencies and ease of use within your environments. In this instance, we've been collaborating with the folks at Syngrafii, who I believe are the only platform that provides all three of ink seal, e-signatures, and remote video signing technologies as part of that single platform. Today, you're going to hear from Ravi Dave. He's the Chief Technology Officer at Syngrafii, and he's going to talk about how this platform can help speed up signature activities while, of course, ensuring strong compliance. Luke Marriott, who's our product manager, both products and quality, will take you through a step-by-step process of using e-signatures, using the tight iManage integration that we've co-developed with the Syngrafii team. And then, of course, Bill Tannenbaum, partner at Moses and Singer in New York, he's going to share a little bit from his experience. How has Syngrafii helped, from a solution perspective, helped him to work more efficiently, more effectively, and on a day-to-day basis. So we're going to hear from Bill as well. For now, I'm just going to pass it off to Ravi, and hopefully today you'll get some great insights from everything that we share. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Howard, for the introduction, and pleasure to meet you all. So we wanted to go through a quick introduction of Syngrafii, walk you through a couple of slides here before we jump into the demonstration. So Syngrafii, who we are the signature company. We do signatures in a variety of different ways. You may be familiar with, in the market today, other e-signature providers that essentially allow you to add a scanned image, a typed name, essentially a proxy representation of your signature. At Syngrafii, we give you the tools to choose the compliance level of the documents that you are setting up for signing. We have a number of solutions that we'll go over today, essentially giving you the ability to have unique signatures inside digital documents. Video signing room solution that allows you to meet face-to-face with clients and conduct a transaction remotely, all the way to wet ink signatures on physical paper documents. The platform as a whole is into the major components you see listed in the screen here. Inked Sign is our e-signature application, allowing you to send electronic documents out for signing, have them executed with a number of various workflows that we'll go over today, and a number of signature options allowed in those documents. In the Inked Sign application, you essentially have the ability to enable an ink signature or a typed or click to sign proxy signature as well, depending on the compliance of the documents you're sending out. One of the workflow options in the Inked Sign platform is the video signing room, or the VSR. The VSR is a proprietary system to Syngrafii, allowing you to schedule and host an online meeting where you can meet face-to-face with multiple attendees with built-in video conferencing inside the Syngrafii platform. You're able to, as the host of the meeting, share your screen, walk your clients, your remote clients through the documents that are being signed, and actually have them execute by sending in their ink signatures into the document. During the meeting, you may choose to record the entire meeting or portions of the meeting to be added to the Audit Trail. So essentially, you would have full video recording of a transaction as it takes place, the entire audio and video conversation that took place, as well as the screen share of the documents that were being signed. In addition to that, in the Inked platform, we have Ink Seal, allowing you to add digital seals, such as a notary or a commissioner of oath stamp, into a digital document being signed in order to notarize or commission documents. We have the Inked Long Pen, which is a hardware device allowing you to remotely sign physical paper documents with a wet ink signature. We won't focus too much on the Long Pen today, but we do have a video of the Long Pen in action on our website. Lastly, the Transaction Compliance Server, which is the server component of Syngrafii, really gives you the ability to have some flexible options in deployment. Essentially, we have data centers in the US and Canada and in Europe, allowing you to choose where your data is hosted. We also have, for our large enterprise clients, the ability to do an on-premise server deployment that the entire Syngrafii inked platform can be deployed in your own cloud. So with that, what we'd like to do is just switch over very quickly to the inked platform so that we can show you the workflow options and walk you through a couple of demonstrations. I wanted to just jump into the platform today. In this integration through iManage with Arbro, you essentially will be creating signings from within iManage, having them sent out via Syngrafii. What I would like to show you today, as I've logged in here into my screen, I'll skip over the administrative features and just jump directly into the inked sign section of Syngrafii. Again, I just wanted to go through here to show you the various workflow options that Syngrafii offers for e-signatures. In Syngrafii, when you send out documents for signing, we define that as a package. A package can consist up to multiple documents within it, and a package is defined by one of the following workflow options. The first one being a concurrent signing. Concurrent signings allow you to send documents out to a number of recipients, essentially sending documents out where clients would receive an email, be able to sign the documents in any order, but each of them signing the exact same copy of the document. A sequential signing allows you to set a defined signing order that signers must sign one after each other as they execute the document. They will be all signing the exact same copy of the document in the order that you define. Group send allows you to essentially send out a bulk send of documents to a large number of signers. And in this case, each signer receives their own individual copy of the document to sign and send back to you. While the first three modes are more of the, if you will, traditional e-signature workflows, where you have documents being sent out to clients, they will receive an email with a notification, be able to sign the documents in their own time and send them back to you. The last two are when there are live interactions taking place for the signing. Video signing room, as you mentioned, is proprietary to Syngrafii, allowing you to schedule and host an online meeting. You'll be able to meet face-to-face with your clients with a built-in video conferencing inside Syngrafii. Your clients would not have to download or install any special apps or plugins. They're simply able to just click on the link on any device and are able to see you and then sign the documents. You may choose to record the entire meeting or portions of the meeting, and that recording will be available in the audit trail that is generated as part of the signing. Lastly, an in-person signing allows you to do, as the name suggests, an in-person signing. Instead of having to print documents out, have them signed, and scan back into a document management system, an in-person signing allows you to keep that entire workflow electronic and sign documents in person, but keep them electronic. For today's demonstration, what we would like to do is do a very quick sequential signing, very quickly on my end, just to show you how that works. And then in the second half of the demonstration, we will jump into a video signing room session. One of my colleagues, Jay, who's on the line, will both jump in there, conduct a transaction remotely, have documents signed, and we'll also show you the audit trail as part of that signing. So today I've already created the packages. Creating the packages is very straightforward. Essentially, you would be adding the documents, who needs to sign them, if it's a sequential signing, the order that they would need to sign, and once you create the package, signers would receive notifications. I should add that you're able to fully white label the application, so adding your custom branding and logos in all the screens that you and your clients will see and all the emails that are sent out from the platform. So I've already gone ahead and created a sequential signing. I've added a demo signer as the first signer, added myself as the second signer. The first signer in sequence receives an email right away. What I will do is share my device, my iPad that's sitting next to me on the screen so you can all see it. Essentially just showing an example of what your client will receive as they have been added as a signer. This sequential signing, as you can see in my inbox, I've received an email. Again, your branding will show up in the top of these emails. And we can see in this case that this demo signer has been notified that they are the first signer of the documents that were sent out, in this case by Ravi. We have the documents, in this example, just one document added to the package and a link to click on to sign. You're able to actually add additional security to the signings by adding two-factor authentication via a code that's sent to the signer, or simply a password that's added to the package, and the passwords would need to be entered in order for your clients to view, open, and sign the documents. In this case, I've just enabled it as an open link, so I can simply click on that link. Again, your signers can access this on any device. While I'm using my iPad today, it could be my mobile phone, it could be my desktop or laptop PC. As soon as I click on the link, I'm now presented with this document that I need to sign. Clearly marked and defined are all the areas that I need to sign there. So the originator of this document had dragged and dropped or templated a signature boxes, initial boxes, or other fields as required, and I'm able to see them as a signer and sign where required. So on the first page there, I'll simply go ahead and click on that green signature box, and it gives me the option to select my signature. At the top there, we'll see a number of signature types that I have available: the ink signature, the type signature, or an accepted. This is where the originator of the document can define exactly what types of signatures are allowed in these documents. So for example, if this was a high-level compliance document, we don't want our clients doing a proxy type signature or click to sign, we can disable those, and the only option that they would have is their ink signature. So essentially, you can control what types of signatures are allowed in the documents that you send out. For the ink signature, because I'm on my touchscreen, I'll simply use my finger or a stylus if I have one, and go ahead and add my ink signature there, hit sign, and it adds my signature to the document. I'll just zoom in just a little bit there so you can have a bit of a better view there. In Syngrafii, one of the key differentiators is that that signature is a one-time use signature. You cannot copy and paste a signature. You cannot save a signature to reuse in other areas in this document or other documents. So just like you would sign a physical paper document, as I go to page 2 of this contract, I would actually have to go ahead and sign again. So each signature is a one-time use signature, essentially protecting me as the consumer in this example, where I know that someone cannot take my signature and place it on another document, protecting your end of the transaction. So for example, if my son had access to my tablet, he would not be able to sign this document as me, and because there's no stored saved signature inside my profile. So each signature has to be entered in for a unique one-time signature. This example, this contract was a 2-page document. When it is sent out for signing, we automatically append to the end of it what we call a compliance audit certificate page. This page is added for compliance to various e-signature laws, both in North America and in Europe. And in addition to that, the paragraph of text that you see on the top there is something that you can customize to fit your own internal compliance or legal requirements. So essentially, you can customize that text, and the signers of the document have to sign off on this page before they can submit the documents back to you. So in this case, I'll just go ahead and sign it again. And we'll notice now that the button on the left-hand side changes to send because I have completed all the mandatory fields. Again, there could have been initial boxes, text boxes that I need to fill out. And in this case, again, I can now hit send to send off that document. If I had other documents to sign, it would present me with the other documents in this package, and I'll be able to go through all of them. We will mention in the later part of the demonstration, as Luke will cover, the signed documents are then pulled back into iManage as completed executed contracts or documents. So that concludes the first half of the demonstration. Again, we did want to very quickly show you a traditional e-signature with a sequential signing. We now want to focus in the second half on a video signing room, where in this use case, again, I have with my client decided on a date and time that we would be meeting, Inside the video signing room, we've decided on the time, and I've created a package with myself as the host and my client as the attendee of the video signing room. As soon as we create a video signing room package, meeting invitations are sent out to all of the attendees. I just shared on my screen here, you can see added to my calendar. In my case, I use Outlook, so added to my Outlook calendar, a meeting invitation that was sent out from the platform as soon as that package was created. So this could have been, for example, someone in my office, a legal assistant or a clerk who's created a package for me, the lawyer, to meet with my client, added to my calendar. As we can see here, it tells me that I had been scheduled to host a meeting at this date and time with a link to click on to host. So each attendee receives their own individual link with access to the meeting. So likewise, my client Jay today has received a meeting invitation added to his calendar, notifying him that he has been added to join the meeting at this date and time. His email client will give him a reminder when it's time to join the meeting, as will mine, and we can join the meeting. Before I do that, just to show you the rest of the invitation, a setting that you can have turned on or off is the ability to review documents prior to signing. So let's say I was meeting my client next week. I would like them to review the documents beforehand, so giving them the ability to actually go through it. If you have any questions, of course, I could answer in the meantime, and they're able to review all the documents that they will sign in the meeting. I can disable that if I don't want that happening, and that option would not be visible. And the rest of the invitation just shows the documents that we're signing. Again, just the one document in today's example, and who the attendees are. We could, of course, have multiple attendees. So if Jay's wife needed to sign these documents, and if she was traveling or in the office, she could join as well. And we could have multiple attendees in various locations join the same meeting and execute the contract together. So now that it's time to join, essentially, we have a button here to host. I'm actually going to go ahead and click on that. And as we'll see, I'll just open in my browser just a link that I've gone to and presents me and lands me to the lobby of the video signing room. We can see that both myself and my client Jay are online. As the host, I maintain full control of the signing, so I can actually choose when to start the meeting. Before we do that, we have a chat on the right-hand side. So I can actually chat with my clients just to go over, just to make sure that they're ready to start the meeting before we jump into the live interaction. When it's time to join, we can simply now click on Start Meeting, and it will take both Jay and I into the live video signing room. We will see a video light up shortly, and we're able to now see and talk to each other inside the environment. Again, our clients have not had to download or install any special software. They've just simply clicked on the link on any device to join the video signing room meeting. As the host of the meeting, I have a number of tools here to start sharing my screen or start the recording, which I'll go ahead and do now. We could have it auto record, so as soon as the video signing room starts, we'll be able to auto record and be able to record the transaction. My internet just dropped out there for a second, actually, in a timely fashion, but as you can see, it's reconnected us into the meeting and continued. So as part of my workflow, if I need to actually check my client's ID before we start signing, we are recording this. I can ask Jay to hold up his ID. We are recording, so it'd be part of the recording. And I can actually click on his screen there to actually enlarge it. Thank you, Jay, that looks great. And I'm able to, as we'll show you through the demonstration, actually be able to collect identification as well during the signing. So now in order to actually sign these documents, I as the host will maintain full control of the video signing room. My clients haven't had to learn too much or figure out how to use the software. I'll walk them through it. So what I'll first do is start sharing my screen, which enables me to share my screen with the remote signers. So now on their end, in Jay's end, he can see my screen right here, and he'll be able to see the documents as I open, load them, and have them signed. In this case, again, we just have the one document, which I will go ahead and open. And on his end, through the screen share, you'll see the document load as I walk through it with him and enable him to sign as well. The first thing we see as we open the documents are the ability to link in the signers. Now, in today's example, both Jay and I have joined this meeting on our laptops. I need Jay to actually send his signature into the documents. I don't want him struggling to draw it with his mouse on his computer. So if he has, what we can do is send a link to his mobile device so that he can use his mobile device, his cell phone, as a touchscreen, as a signature pad to send signatures into the documents. Now, we don't necessarily need multiple devices. If my client had joined this video signing room on their touchscreen device, like a mobile phone or a tablet, they would see the video conferencing, see the document on that device, and be able to sign directly on it when prompted to. In this case, we both joined on our laptops, so I can send either an email link or a text link. I'll go ahead and send a text message link to each of us, and we would immediately receive a text message on our phones. Just to show you there very quickly, I've received a text message on my phone with a link to click on. When I click on that link, and as Jay did as well, on our devices, it essentially takes us to a signature pad device that when prompted to, will be asked to actually sign and send signatures into the document that we're working on in the video signing room. You can see that we're both connected there. I'll now go ahead and click on Start, and it takes us into the document. So again, as the host, I scroll through the document, explain to my clients what we're doing, what we're signing. My client will be able to see that on their end as I scroll through. We can, of course, go through all these terms and conditions and clauses of this contract. I'm able to answer any questions that my client would have. And because we are recording this meeting, I can actually have my client verbally agree that, yes, they agree to sign this document, they have no further questions, and we're able to actually start collecting signatures. In this example, I've added both Jay and I as signers to the package with their respective signature boxes in advance. In the video signing room, if the settings allow for it, you can also add signature boxes, image boxes, text boxes on the fly during the transaction as well, if required. So I'm able to go ahead and click on Jay's box to activate it now. On his end, on his signature pad, he's able to now sign, hit send, and in today's example, from across the city for me, his signature, his ink signature, comes flying into the document. Again, that is a one-time use signature. I'll go ahead and click on my signature box to activate it. I'll just show you very quickly. I am going to sign on my phone. Before I hit send, just to show you, I've drawn my ink signature inside the signature pad on my phone, and I have a button on the right-hand side to click on to send the signature. Hitting send sends the signature to the document. So I can continue going through this document, explaining to Jay the additional clauses, terms of this contract, and when required to, simply activate a signature box, ask him to sign again. He continues to send these unique ink signatures from that same link that was sent on his phone. Again, this contract was originally a two-page document, taking us to the compliance audit certificate page. All attendees in the video signing room have to sign off on the compliance page. Because I've added myself as a signer, I have to sign as well as the host. And we can ask my client Jay to please go ahead and sign. While he's doing that, the same link that was sent to his phone to send signatures in can also be used to collect identification. So let's say it's part of this transaction, I need to collect my signer's ID, the front and back of the driver's license, maybe the passport. I can actually, and I've already done so, added an image box. Once I click on it, it then asks my remote client to take a photograph off identification that he has, as you can see Jay do it off screen there, and he's able to then send it from his device, thank you Jay, into the document. We can of course collect multiple pieces of ID as well during the transaction. So lastly, for this demonstration, what I would like to show you is the ability to add a seal into a document. As you mentioned, inked seal gives you the ability to add your notary stamp, to commission documents, to notarize documents. I can actually add the seal to the digital document that I'm signing. In my profile, I've already gone ahead and added my sample notary seal. I can simply use the option at the bottom here to click and add a seal to a document. My practice might be that I, in the physical world, would stamp a document and sign over it. In Syngrafii, you can accomplish that by adding a signature box on top of the seal, which I'll go ahead and do now, essentially giving me the ability to sign over my electronic seal. So just mimicking something that I would do in the physical world, I'm able to stamp a document and sign over it. In this case, again, we have completed all the mandatory fields. I'm able to now send the document off. Again, if we had additional documents inside the package, we would see the next document in the package, and we're able to sign, conclude the transaction, and sign all the documents as needed. In this example, we're done, so I can stop sharing my screen. I can stop the recording. I can thank Jay. Thanks, Jay, for joining us today. And I'm able to then end the video signing room meeting, concluding that transaction, being able to, again, very quickly and easily meet face-to-face with my clients, collect their identification if I need to, collect their signatures, have them sign the document, and as we'll show you, having really a best-in-class compliance audit trail in the background, tracking everything that happened during that signing. So the transaction is completed. What I'd like to do is very quickly go back to our Syngrafii site, and I do want to show you the audit trail, which we call the master file, that was captured as part of this transaction. Again, through the integration on the iManage side, you would have access to all of this inside of iManage, the documents being signed, the audit trails. Just today, I would like to show you in the standalone version here that I can go into my profile here. I started this off by clicking on new to show you the various package options. I'm just going to quickly go into my packages. This is where I can view everything that I've sent out for signing, and I can track the progress. I can issue reminders. Again, you can do this via the integration in iManage, but I want to show you the master file of this transaction that Jay and I just did. So clicking on master file, it would actually load the master file view. You'll notice on the top, it has a tab for the master file. In this case, the meeting that took place in the video signing room and the documents that were signed. We store copies of the original document all the way to the signed version, which again will be sent back to iManage. In the master file, this level of detail that you will see today is on all the package types in Syngrafii. So whether this was that simple sequential signing or concurrent signing that we sent out for our clients to sign and send back to you, you would have a full detailed audit trail. Or in this case, this is the video signing room that Jay and I just completed. We can see here the date and times of the transaction, a summary of all the text boxes, the images, the signatures, what types of signatures were added to the documents in this package. For the video signing room and audit trail, we can see that there was a host, which was myself, one attendee, Jay, and a document that was signed. A meeting took place for that duration between the two of us, and I had recorded a video of that meeting during the video signing room. We'll come back to this in a second, just to show you the rest of the audit trail first. We can see that we have a full access history of how all the signers accessed the documents inside the package, how we actually joined, in this case, the meeting, how we then actually opened our signature pads on our devices. All of that is logged. We have a full change history of any changes that happened to this package. So let's say if you added additional documents or additional signers or removed signers in this package on the iManage side as well, that would be shown here in the change history. So any change that happened or occurred to this package. We maintain a full notification history of every single notification that is sent out from the platform. So in this case, in the video signing room, initially meeting invitations went out to both Jay and I. If I expand that, we can actually see the date and time it was sent, delivered to us, the fact that I read that a few times, and then opened that link from that IP address on my Chrome browser on my Windows device. During the meeting, we also sent out mobile links to both Jay and I to use our mobile phones as a signature pad. And expanding on that, we can actually see the date and time the text messages were sent, delivered, and the fact that I used my iPhone, Jay used his Android device to send signatures into the document. So further identifying us by something else that we have, which is our phone numbers, our devices that were used in the signing. Lastly, in the detailed signing log, we have for each document that was signed, a complete detailed audit trail of every single thing that happened during the signing. So we can see from the moment the host opened the document to when in page 1, my client sent that ink signature into page 1 of that document, coming from his phone number, if he shared it, his geolocation of where he was as he sent that signature in. So this is where Jay is right now, as he sent that signature again from his Android device, his IP address. In the background, we know that that signature can only exist in that location of this page of this document only and cannot exist anywhere else. Likewise, we can see that my ink signature, again, coming from my phone number, my device, my location, if I shared it, going into page 1 of that document. We also log how long we spend on each page of the document. So in the video signing room, in this case, we did record the entire meeting. So we do have the screen share of the signing itself. But in a sequential signing, for example, this gives you some good metrics on how long did your client spend on each page as the documents were being signed. Likewise, we can see all the additional unique ink signatures that came in from our respective devices, all the way to when Jay sent that photograph, again, coming from his device into the document. Lastly, I added my sample Syngrafii notary stamp, signed over it, and then saved and finalized the document. So again, literally everything that happened in this signing is logged in the detailed audit trail. Going back up to the top, I just wanted to go back to the meeting section just to show you by clicking on view, I can now view the recording. First, I can see here on the right-hand side that there was a chat. So everything that was written in the chat during that transaction is a part of the audit trail, including all the events that took place. I can hit play. I'm able to actually see this meeting as Jay and I started the meeting. We were talking to each other as I described to him what we're signing. Skipping ahead to when I, as the host shared my screen, my entire screen share is a part of the video recording. So hence the documents that were signed will also be a part of that. Of course, as we all saw today, that just skipping ahead here in the video, as we open the document, sent out the links, as I explained to Jay what he's signing today, scroll through the document, had him verbally agree that yes, that's what he agrees to sign and he understands. And of course, as we saw, as I, just skipping ahead here in the recording, as I activated his signature box and his signature came flying into the document there. So literally being able to play back an entire transaction that took place, whether this was 6 weeks ago or 6 months ago, and being able to see exactly what was discussed, exactly what was signed in the audit trail, having that full record of the entire signing. As you can imagine, making it extremely hard for, in this case, Jay to say that that's not him, That's not the document he signed. That's not what Ravi explained to him. That's not his signature. Really better than an in-person signing, being able to actually conduct that full transaction. So with that, that concludes what I wanted to show you from my end. Just wanted to very quickly thank you all for your time. And we will now jump to Luke Marriott, the Product and Quality Manager for Arbor Solutions. And Luke will go over a little bit on over the iManage integration and be able to show you something from there. Thank you, and over to you, Luke.
Okay, thanks, Ravi. Hello, everybody. So yeah, as mentioned, I am Luke Marriott. I'm the Product and Quality Manager here at Arbor Solutions. Let me put a screen up so you can see what I'm about to talk to you about. Okay. So I'm going to present how the integration between iManage and Syngrafii works, how we can surface Syngrafii from directly within the iManage work user interface. Like Ravi mentioned, we have two-way integration. I'm going to start with the context of sending things to Syngrafii from iManage. So right now, as you can see, I'm in the iManage work interface and I have a sample workspace up that I'm going to be using for this presentation. I could browse for a workspace. I could look at my recent matters. I happen to be in my matters currently. So I'm going to go access this workspace. You can see it has various folders and various documents within it. And from here, I'm either going to access Syngrafii from the workspace context menu or from a folder context menu. Either way, I can access a screen that lets me see my signing packages. This will authenticate me with both the Arbor linking solution and the Syngrafii solution if I'm not already authenticated, and then present the signing packages that are available for this workspace and associated with this workspace. You can see I have some here that I prepared in advance of the presentation. From here, we have the ability to create a new signing package, which you can provide a name for, whatever name you choose. And then you're asked to select what type of signing package you like. You can see sequential, video, signing room, all of the signing package types that are available from the Syngrafii platform will be presented for you to choose for your new package. This is if you didn't want to extend an existing one. Once you're happy with that, you tell it to create the package and that gets sent off to Syngrafii, and then you're presented with the Syngrafii's platform user interface and all of those functionalities and capabilities that Ravi just highlighted for us are available to you within here. You can see that the package name has been filled in. You can extend this information with the sign by dates, descriptions, and importantly, you'll notice that the client number and matter number have been automatically filled in for you based on the client and matter information of the workspace. From here, to complete the creation of the package, I would simply have to add whatever signers are going to be involved in the signing of this package. And from there, I would then be able to add in my documents. If I had triggered this from a document in the iManage context, those documents would already be available to me. Rather than add documents here, I'm going to open one that I prepared earlier so you can see how we can extend an existing signing package. So I'm going to go ahead and view this draft package that's already available to me. And it will load up in the state that it was most recently in. You can see I've got one document already added to this signing package, but I'm going to add some more. The button at the top right here, Add Documents, that takes me to an iManage Add Documents screen with all the standard document searching and document browsing capabilities you've come to expect. Right now I'm looking at my recent documents, but I could also find documents through navigating through the workspace structure. I'm actually going to pick two documents. I'm going to pick one new one, and I'm also going to pick that same document that was in there already because perhaps I've made some changes and I need a revised version to go to Syngrafii. Once I've selected those documents, they upload, and when they're ready, I have the Add to Package button become available to me at the top right. And it says, these are the documents we're adding, please confirm. You'll notice that it's detected that one of those is an update rather than new. And if I choose to add it as a new document, I could add it as a separate document instead. I'm going to skip past the whole signing process because Ravi just showed you how that works. So I'm going to go now to my third sample signing package here. And you'll see this one actually says that it's been executed already, the original package. I still have the option to view it. So if from here I want to see what that signing package looks like, I can hit that button on the far right-hand side and see within the Syngrafii platform what is currently available to me. But now this is finished. This is complete. It's executed. So it's not something that I'd go in to modify anymore. Instead, if we jump back into the iManage context, you'll see two things. Firstly, the actual document itself, which was agreement for ABZ, that document has been saved back. You'll see it's version 2. If I look at the versions, you'll see that version 1 was actually a Word document. Version 2 is the PDF document that came back having been signed once it had been signed by all parties. So if we go ahead and open that one up, you'll see that we have the signature in that document now. In this case, I just used a typed signature, but it could have been the inked signature or whatever other type of signature was appropriate at the time. The other thing we do is the master file, the audit trail. And this isn't related to a particular document, so it needs its own place within the workspace. I've put it into a folder here called signing audits. If I go ahead and look inside this folder, I'll see the master file that comes back when all of the documents in that signing package have been completed and the signing package itself is resolved. And within that, I can see all of that useful information and metrics that Ravi had highlighted to you in the example he just went through: who signed it, when they signed it, and all the other information about the context of that document. So that's essentially it for what we send out of iManage and what we can bring back into iManage. The last thing I want to show you is a quick view of the settings and options you have as the administrator of the system. This is our Nucleus platform where all of our modern solutions are being built. Here are the Syngrafii options. And essentially the options we have for configuration is establishing your connection to Syngrafii, selecting how you're going to have your users authenticate to Syngrafii, and then when you bring those documents back into the iManage context, do you want them to be a new version of the original or to save them as a completely new sibling document with its own document number? If you do choose a new document, you can append extra text to the end, maybe signed or complete, so that you know that that's the new document. And finally, where within the workspace we want to save those master files when the package is completed. That's everything I have to show you for the integration. The key things is it's quick and easy to flow between the two systems, and you don't have to worry about having some of your signing information siloed off away from the matter. All of the matter content can be brought back together into the context of the workspace. It also avoids the need for any documents to be saved locally and be exported from either system to your desktop or documents and then uploaded on the other end. It's a smooth pass-through between the two systems. That was it for me. I'm going to pass back to David, I think now, or are we going straight to Bill?
We are going straight to Bill.
So my name is Bill Tannenbaum. I am a partner at a law firm in New York called Moses and Singer. And the easiest way to explain how the system is accepted and used by law firms is to say it is easy enough for an older senior partner to use. And that's because the technology is pretty straightforward. It's based, as you all know, on a standard web interface and a standard smartphone interface. And the other questions we often receive are from clients who are new to the platform and are used to something such as DocuSign or some of those systems. So there are some questions about how this is used. So therefore, from our point of view, the issue is how easy is it to explain how to use this system? And the answer is it has turned out to be quite easy. We either send a link, we send written instructions that we of a law firm has created. And in most cases, we do a walkthrough or provide a briefing either virtually or over the phone to avoid any hiccups on the actual execution date. And we also do this with our clients and with the counterparties, as I said, to reduce the hiccups. I think that one of the chief advantages for us is that we work with financial institutions, and financial institutions, because of COVID and because they have replaced their prior practices for obtaining wet signatures with allowing virtual signatures or electronic signatures, is that they have very strict requirements because of the requirements of the industry and their own internal rules and regulations. So this system has proven very attractive to them for all the reasons that we've discussed so far in this presentation. So that helps us a great deal with speeding up the execution of agreements because our clients are satisfied that this system meets or exceeds the requirements they've adapted, especially during COVID time. One of the advantages that we find is that the system carries with it its own technology for storing the documents and storing the master file. And because the technology carries with it the storage and recordation of the system, that makes it very easy from our end. And the iManage integration will make it even easier because, like many law firms, we do use iManage as a plugin to Outlook or other Word programs. And I believe going forward that although we have not implemented this, it'll make it easier at the firm to maintain records, especially because, as just discussed, it can go into fields that we pre-populate on a client basis or on a firm basis for storing executed agreements. We also do a lot of outsourcing agreements, and outsourcing agreements are characterized by, number one, there being a lot of people on each side who are involved in the process, and two, there are a series of documents that are signed over time. There's usually a master agreement, and then there are a series of SOWs or statements of work, and these are sometimes executed at the same time, and more often executed at the same time as the MSA, and also in subsequent events as new SOWs are entered into. And this is a process that extends over years. So the ability to maintain a file where all these documents are stored, and we don't have to go looking in different places for different versions of different SOWs is very important, primarily because it reduces the burden on internal practices within the firm. Clients also like it for exactly the same reason. They all have their own internal systems, and the ability to store it in the Syngrafii cloud or to store it in our own technology or the client's own technology is another ease of use. So those are the key attributes as to the practicalities of it, and convincing our own clients that this is a robust system that meets their enhanced requirements in a post-COVID world, and also meets a couple of legal requirements. I'm just going to discuss those legal requirements very briefly. Under the U.S. federal eSignature statute, it is very easy to create an electronic signature. You could actually probably doing it by whistling into your iPhone. So the legal issue is once you have an electronic signature, is the electronic signature sufficient to enforce the contract or defeat any claim that it should be repudiated? And there are several risks that are involved that the Syngrafii system accomplishes, and more importantly, convinces our clients that these risks are addressed. One is the authentication risk, which simply put is the risk that the signature doesn't belong to the person who signed it. As we've heard from the prior explanation, the system identifies the signature with his or her actual identity through various technology forms. The other risk is the repudiation risk, where the signer acknowledges executing the agreement but claims the contract was signed after execution. The encryption that takes place disproves any alteration. So that is a plus for us and our clients. Another risk is admissibility risk, which is how do you lay the legal foundation for introducing it into evidence. And this is satisfied because the document is logically associated with the signer, and the act of e-signing and its recordation makes sure that there is a record of a manifestation of intent to be bound which is a legal requirement. There's a compliance risk where the signer claims that it didn't manifest an intent to be bound by the contract. Here, the system is very clear that the contract was presented, that questions could be asked, and proof of what was agreed to, and therefore this risk is reduced if not eliminated. The adoption risk is that the system was so burdensome that there was no manifestation of intent because people were confused by the process and didn't know what they were doing. As the demonstration proved, the use of these standard interfaces and the ability to ask questions and so forth shows that there was really no question that can arise as to what was being signed, what it said, and how it was being signed. And finally, there is the adoption. Well, finally, there's the relative risk, which is are electronic signatures better than wet signatures? And there is a very strong argument that they are better than wet signatures, because while wet signatures are admitted into evidence under historical rules, because they're signed physically, the authentication and encryption and proof against alteration are all very important. So when we look at this all together, it's the ease of use, both on the partner side and the client side, the meeting of requirements of clients which have strict rules for what kind of electronic signatures and processes they will approve. And then in the minds of lawyers, have we addressed the issues that would lead to both enforceability or, from the other side, repudiation of the contract? So this system meets both the practical requirements and satisfies us and our counterparties that the requirements for an enforceable signature will have been met. So thank you very much for that. If there's anyone who has any questions, I'd be glad to address them. And otherwise, I turn it back over to you.
Thank you, Bill. I will now open it up to some questions. We do have a little bit of time. So there is one question that just came through. This might be appropriate for Luke, perhaps, or Ravi, but from the technology side of things, how are workspaces and signing packages linked, and is it by client or by matter? Hello?
Good question. Yes, thank you. So while we store the client and matter information onto the signing package in the associated fields from the workspace, we don't actually use those fields to establish the link. The link is established by the underlying unique ID of the workspace, sometimes known as the project ID or the work ID. So it's the actual workspace one-to-one mapping, well, one-to-many mapping between workspace and signing package. It's not based on profile fields alone.
And let's see what we've got here. Ravi, from your perspective, when a document is waiting for a signature, does Syngrafii automatically check every so often, maybe every 10, 30 minutes, 2 hours? Can you actually manually force to update the status?
Yeah, so the signing package continues to live, so does the audit trail. So as signing links have been sent out, as users open an email, that would be reflected as they click on a link in the signing. So it does continue to live on. There isn't an automatic check in the sense that it reaches out, but it's continuously living. So as someone clicks on the link, the audit trails update. The system could be have reminders being sent out. So reminders can be sent out to signings. And as signings are completed, whether it's a sequential signing or video signing room, again, all the audit trails continue to live on. So absolutely, it does. It is a living process. Even after documents are fully executed, the audit trail will still reflect if any changes have been made to the package or if signers have requested access to the audit trail as well.
For video signing, does the client actually receive a copy of or access to the video itself?
That's a great question. So that's something that can be customized inside the Syngrafii environment in your profile. If you are okay sharing the video recording in a video signing room with your clients, absolutely they could have access to that. If for any reason, based on your internal compliance, you would not like to do that, you can have that setting turned off and they will not have access to the video recording. So ultimately, it does come down to your requirements. We give you the tools to have things turned on and off.
And are there any certain types of documents that would still need a wet signature, or does everything apply for Syngrafii and the integration?
So I think that might be a question. Not sure if Bill would like to answer, but I'll just very quickly touch on that. It again comes down to the specific documents, the jurisdiction, and what documents being signed. In our world, again, as you saw today in the demonstration, ink signatures are being added to those documents, but there are certainly use cases where physical wet ink signatures are still required. We have seen that, but that is ever changing in our world today.
So are there any? Okay, yeah, perfect.
This is Bill. I'll jump in here. You know, there are 50 states with different requirements. Not all states have adopted the federal system. Some have adopted other more stringent systems. And the bottom line is, if you look at this from a highest common denominator system, then or requirements, then this is a system that does meet the highest common denominator. With respect to remote notary signatures, which have their own law and usually prohibit electronic signatures, that law is evolving. One of the questions is using a remotely located notary, and different jurisdictions are taking different approaches. One of them is to use a remote virtual session where a wet signature is witnessed, and this system obviously meets that requirement. And that is more usually the case than substituting an electronic signature for a wet signature. But you do avoid the problem of travel and cost of a notary. And some of the real issues here are whether the profession of notaries wants to allow out-of-jurisdiction notaries to be able to essentially maintain the business practices and the advantages that they now have. That's changing, but that's one of the key factors that inhibits the change. So to the extent that it has changed, this is a system that allows even remote witnessing of wet signatures.
Bill, and I believe we have time for one more question, perhaps for Luke. Luke, do we need to be, or does the client need to be on iManage Work 10? And from a tech perspective, are workspaces, or sorry, does an entire organization need to sign up to use the integration?
So right now, yes, we started with Work 10 because it's the latest and by far the most popular. So it is built for iManage Work 10. And as for whether everyone needs to sign up, they don't need to. We actually have a couple of options on how you authenticate to Syngrafii when you access it from the iManage context. They absolutely could, and if you did, I think that would be our recommended best practice. You would have a more specific audit log of who did what. So there are benefits to having everyone have their own registered account with Syngrafii, but we also have the option to proxy it through one administrator configured account. It's worth noting that there isn't a financial impact to having everyone sign up. Whether you have a few users or a lot of users, it's going to be similar cost. Costing is, I don't know if we want to go deep into costing right now, but it's based on usage, not user count.
Thank you so much. And we've come to the top of the hour. So I just want to thank everybody for joining us today. Also want to thank our speakers, Howard, Ravi, Luke, and Bill. We will be sending out a link to the recording shortly with some additional information. And again, if you have any questions, we will supply contact information so you can reach out to each of the individuals to discuss further. Thank you so much for joining, and have a great day.